Satan 1 2 3. Satan 1 2 3.
My balls itch.
Yeah, we're gonna. All right, you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Hello, I'm Ben. I play rhythm guitar for this band. Yeah.
Hello, I am William. I play the bass guitar for the band.
No.
Okay, buddy.
I'm Sam. I play lead guitar for Divinum Insanus.
I'm Kermit the Frog.
No.
My name is Sean. I do vocals in the band.
Hey, Divinum Insanus.
He's also a bassist, but like.
I'm also a bassist. I also play in another band called My Last Journey, which is just me.
He has 5 clones.
Yeah, I have 5 clones that actually do my work for me.
One of them is a little off its rocker. Sometimes
Yeah.
he goes into psychosis.
Yeah, pretty much.
You have to leave that one on the charging port.
That one, it was my first, and it just didn't work out well. Anyway, me and Ben started this band back in 22 when I had 22. Why did I say 22?
Big tutu.
The big dude.
Back in the good old 22.
The back in the good old 22.
Yeah.
We started this band back in 2022 when I had just started out on bass, and I sucked, man. I sucked. We sucked. We were not good.
We sucked ass.
But it was a starting point, and we did a cover of Ariel's where Ben sang, and it was so
the worst
funny.
vocals I ever did in my life. I did.
Life is a waterfall.
It's a good song, but at the same time, the vocals were dog shit. But yeah.
We tried writing our own songs. Most of them were okay. They were not that good. And then he introduced me to Kais, and then we all started jamming and writing shit. And then we met a drummer, and it was okay for a while. It didn't really work out though. And then
His standards were higher than what we had. We were pretty much basic, like guitar players and bass players and drummers, whatever. And he was a higher up guy. Like he wanted to move faster than what we wanted.
Yeah.
We weren't at his tempo, so we kicked him out of the band because he was forcing stuff and everything.
It was actually around this time I initially joined as the vocalist, but he wanted to, like, in addition to all that's been said already, he wanted to take the band in a in a metalcore kind of sounding direction. And to that end, he wanted me to have a very specific sound, which I just did not have.
Yeah.
And so at that point, I had pretty much left the band too at first. And shortly after, that's when he left.
yeah. Anyway, after that, we kind of hit a brick wall. We didn't really know what to do. And then 2023, we went to a concert, and then we hung out with Sam again. And then, yeah, it was going okay. We had songs written. We had a very shitty EP kind of thing, but they weren't really that good. So, yeah. And then 2024 hit, and then we hung out with Sam again, and fucking...
I came back as lead guitar.
And that's when shit really started taking off. And then he introduced us to Liam, and everything was just going good.
All the puzzle pieces started fitting. Sam joined the band as their lead guitarist, and then later on in the year he introduced us to Liam, which this guy makes his own music. He makes the final product sound like heaven, you know.
Yeah.
He was introduced to the band.
Like a tickle from heaven's ball sack on a Friday afternoon.
Indeed. And then we had one of our friends, Ethan. What was his last name?
Bauer.
Ethan Bauer. Yeah, we had him join for a vocalist for a while. For probably like a month at least. And
Yeah.
then right after that, he had some job opportunities out in Colorado, so we had to switch up plans. And this guy over here is Sean. He started doing vocals for us.
Yeah.
And to fill in that gap, Liam went from just mixing to being our bassist.
Yeah. So
How do you feel about vocals, doing vocals, Sean?
I think it's pretty
Do you
cool.
like it? Do you not like it?
I like it. I prefer it. I prefer doing this compared to bass in a way. But like I do miss writing because I don't know, I lost a little bit of the, I don't know, motivation to play bass in a way. But then I was like, fuck it, you know, I got my own project too. I can still play this and I can still learn music. So, but back to like 2024, we got introduced to another person who it once again, it didn't work out, but you know, we had a vocalist for a bit, and yeah,
we had a long story short, we had a vocalist. He was an asshole. He had some stuff that wasn't suited for our liking, and so yeah, we kicked him out, and we're not happy with that. But we kicked him out because we don't want to deal with any of that.
Anyway, so we kind of hit a roadblock, but like when we first all met up, we wrote a song called Asphyxia, it was called at the time.
Alright. Well, asphyxia. Oh my god. Asphyxia then is a.
Oh my. Okay.
Asphyxia then is a retribution now, but that was the first song we all together made.
It went from asphyxia to resurrection to retribution. Bro's still laughing.
All right.
Anyway, what were we talking? Okay, we went from the song that we have now was originally called Asphyxia, and we wrote this all together around the like first time we all met up, and it went from asphyxia to resurrection to retribution, which is now, and yeah, but we kind of hit a roadblock for a little bit, and we didn't know what to do.
I have a nice story, but for resurrection.
What's up?
3 names that we had for it. When we first started out with the song, we didn't have anything in mind at the time until my one friend had this apartment. I think this was 2024 or 2023. I was bringing Sean to the apartment to grab my guitar to bring to his house, and I pull up with my 7-string guitar, and he wants to play it while we're in the car. And on the way there, he starts playing the riff to Retribution, which is crazy. I was like, that's a good ass riff, and then that like spouted into just a good song that we all made together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
About 2024, we're all hanging out. We're watching shit like Berserk, and we're all high as shit.
Yeah.
We're partying hard, bro. And we didn't even have anything done, and we were partying hard.
We were pretty much just getting stoned all day and watching just animes and trying to like play music, but at like the time where we're just all fucked up.
Here's what we do. We'd get together, and then we'd be like, let's jam. And then we'd set up, and we'd jam for like 15 minutes, and then one of us would be like, okay, let's take a 5. Smoke break, and then everybody would be like, I don't know, I don't really want to jam anymore, I want to chill.
Just start watching TV.
Yeah, exactly.
We like get the idea of doing it again, but then when we try to do it again, it just turned into mush.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But eventually we started writing again, and we had a fuck ton of songs basically done. We made like a New Year's resolution to get everything done in the EP. And we came to it. It was around the time that I was playing like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask that we finished it. And yeah, that was a good era, even though what's to come after this era was fucking crazy. Like, this is where the story gets good. I'm gonna let Sam tell his part, because what happened to him happened first, and then it goes on to my shit. So yeah.
Yeah, so around like the early quarter of 2025, we're all just getting baked up our ass. Nothing's really getting done. And we decide, hey, let's all go to Iowa this summer. And I initially bought like these road trip mushroom gummies to share with everyone. But once they actually arrived, I was feeling impatient. And I decided in my bright mind, I decided to just scarf down the whole bag. All right, and this is a horrible idea, especially because it didn't even tell me what was in them, and so I just took it all down. At first, I wasn't feeling anything. Sean was originally streaming a Zelda game. I forgot which one. I think it was Spirit Tracks. And I was like, this isn't hitting. So I go outside, smoke a bowl of weed. And I come back in, and Sean's playing Silent Hill. Shit hit the fan quick.
Dude, I just gotta say that I feel so bad for playing Silent Hill. I thought it was gonna be a dud. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm fine to stream this. And yeah, no, it just wasn't a good idea. I still feel bad about it.
Yeah, but long story short, I hallucinated my own death and like a whole trip through purgatory. And basically it was just so taxing on my mind that I went into full-blown like depersonalization, derealization episodes, particularly whenever I'd smoke weed. And this leads into this next part of the story when something very similar happens to Sean, despite my own warnings telling him not to do it.
Oh yeah, so we get back from Iowa. We saw Dying Fetus. Everything was going good, you know, and it was a good trip. We did it for my birthday, so it was Liam's. Yeah, it was about a year ago now, and fucking, I get back and my dad's talking to one of my friends and he's like, "Can you get shrooms?" And he's like, "Yeah." So we go to pick it up and we get like a full bag, and so we get back. He gives it to my dad, and then, you know, I go to bed. I'm like, oh fuck, we're gonna do this tomorrow. So we do, and then shit hits the fan. Basically, I thought I wasn't feeling it at first, and then I took a fuck ton more, and then it started hitting me. My dad started freaking out, like, oh, I don't like it. I originally took his phone because I was scared that he was gonna call 911, which is probably not the best idea, but it was the only thing that I could think of. And I remember I just couldn't take it. Everything was getting brighter. I started seeing patterns, and I was just like, fuck this, I need to leave. So that's what I did. And then I fucking went on a walk. I was on call with my brother, and I had the craziest ego death ever. I felt like a kid again, and I felt okay for a second. But then, you know, as I said, I took more after I had originally taken some, and yeah, it started hitting me. And then I got halfway down the street and I felt like I was gonna puke. I started seeing my shadow moving when I wasn't moving. It was so fucking weird. And then I get back, I get on call with Sam, and it's like two parts of my like mind or my body are trying to fight for control, like the self after ego death and the self before ego death. This is kind of a weird thing, but I feel like the old version of me died when I had that ego death, and I'm a completely like different person now, even though I'm like still the same fucking moron. You know, you never really know what goes through somebody's mind, you know. But I get back, I'm on call with Sam, and I'm freaking the fuck out. And then I go to throw up, and I throw up a mushroom stem, and God damn it. I throw up a mushroom stem, and I look in the toilet, and I see it move down the toilet, and I think it's a minnow, bro. I think it's a fucking minnow swimming around, and that scared the shit out of me. So I get back, and then I hopped off the call, and then I was just laying down, and every time I'd try to sleep, I'd live through these different lives of myself in past, like, medieval ages, fucking, modern ages, the future, and the future was like some Chrono Trigger, like Nuketown shit. Anyway,
remember after Iowa, we went going out to Wisconsin, me, Sam, and Sean, and Jamal, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it was all four of us. We went up there, and this was like when Sean started like having that just crazy trip of like ego death, and you know, just thinking of the worst, you know. It was like every day you'd always just be we'd have plans set out for the day, you know, like, oh, we're gonna go fishing for a bit, or we're gonna go on the pontoon, and you just did not have the motivation to do anything, and you just were sleeping all day, you know?
I didn't feel like myself, and when I was awake, I just felt horrible. I felt like, I felt like I heard this, dude. I felt like I heard this shit. I was like terrified.
Yeah.
But on my trip, I remember I was so scared that I thought the only way out was to die. It was so fucking bizarre. And I remember, I remember I went up to my room and I went on call with my mom, and she was telling me all this because when I was growing up, I grew up around like paganism, and like my mom believes she's a witch and this and that. She believes, or she just has a lot of pagan shit, and growing up I was very fascinated by paganism and shit. And like recently I've just gotten into Slavic paganism and shit. But anyway, when I closed my eyes, I started seeing this like alchemical smiling sun, and it brought me peace, but it was also like I was staring into a god. It was very fucking strange. And then I started to calm down, and I was okay for a bit, and then we went up to Wisconsin and shit hit the fan. I got some Arizona Hards and I started drinking them, and then I was just sitting outside, and I was like, dude, I don't feel right. I don't feel good. And I started like tripping again. I started seeing patterns and shit. And yeah, shit just hit the fan from there. And I thought that it was a continuous act of like thinking I was okay and then falling back into the same fucking cycle. And yeah, it was very scary. There's a video of me. I'll probably put it up on screen. Somebody has it. It was you and Ben. I think it was Ben that was recording, or it was either you. And you pan over to Ben, and then you pan over to me, and I'm just going. I don't know who has that video, but I'll put it up on screen if they could find it.
Remember that? So yeah, Sam was recording. I was sitting on the couch. And I was like, man. He goes over to Sean, and it looks like a goddamn coffee.
Yeah, I was so out of it. And then I remember we went up to watch fireworks, and I was so scared. I've never felt anything like that, dude. It is such a bizarre feeling. I felt so out of body. I felt out of bounds. Like when you go in a fucking video game and you somehow get out of bounds, that's what I felt like. I remember I was listening to fucking Intestinballism, and that shit made me tweak, but it was such a good song. And I was like, I thought everybody was staring at me when we were walking towards the park, and I just felt fucking terrified. And yeah, it was bizarre. And then I remember the only time I felt okay during this was like when we went swimming, and I guess it was because of that like diver's reflex shit, but we were swimming, and that was like the only time I felt okay, is when we were swimming. And then, you know, I got out, and then, you know, I was still a little out of it. I remember me and Sam were on the beach, and we were talking about some shit. Like, we heard a big, loud-ass bang, and then one of us was just like, imagine this. Imagine a giant just dropped a sword or some shit somewhere. And I don't know, that's kind of cool. But eventually I got a ride back to my house because our friend was like, oh, don't worry about it. I wanted to leave too. And I don't believe him. I think he was just trying to be nice, or he's just being a dick. But anyway, I get back and everything's okay for a bit, and everything's okay until the end of the month when, once again, shit hits the fan. And then August 1st hits, and I am like the worst I've ever been. I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping, I was just up and in my head. It was so weird. Like, it was an out-of-body experience. And then it just kept on going and kept on going. And then it reached a fucking point to where I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I wrote one song off like our upcoming thing that was gonna be like my last composition. Like I was gonna go fucking end it, and then I was just like, you know what, fuck it. And then I had my mom come bring me to the hospital, and fucking I was there and I was out of it, and then I went into the psych ward and they got me medicated and shit, and I was like, okay, maybe everything's gonna be okay. But I was still very out of it. And then while I was there, I had a bunch of weird shit happen. Some guy shit in the shower, waffle stomped it, and then we were in group therapy, and he told everybody about it.
Fucking waffle stopped my shit in the shower this morning.
It was so, I was like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Are you serious? But then I got out, and then we all hung out, and that night everything was okay for a bit, and then the next day I started feeling the anxiety and shit again, and then I went to my mom's, and yeah, we were just doing our own thing for a little bit, and then that's gonna carbonate, brother.
Already, it's good.
Alright.
And now I'm putting 9 months salt on beer. It's like beer salt. Pretty fucking good.
I'll find my phone.
But yeah, during this entire time, I was writing a concept that came to me after the shroom trip and shit. I originally came up with it listening to a Dungeon Serpent album, and it just took off. I was like, everything just came to me naturally. I just continued writing, and I've never written anything like that before, so it's crazy. You know, I've never written 28 fucking songs by myself, so it was a weird experience to have this all just come to me naturally. And you know, with the writing, the whole concept and having it connect was just, once again, coming to me naturally. And I've never fucking written a story like this. I've never written anything like this, so it's strange to have it just out of fucking nowhere. And then I remember I was telling Sam and Ethan about it, and we were like, I was just like, hey, why don't I include you guys? Why do I need to do this by myself? I could do it with all of you and make it even better, you know? And that's what I did. I was like, hey, let's all join in on this concept. And then they made a conclusion about what happens in the story, and we made our own little universe for a bit. And then I came back from my mom's place in Red Wing, and we were just like, it was New Year's, we were all drunk as shit, and we were like, this is our resolution, we're gonna get this EP done, we're gonna record it, because we only had the midis done, which we did in like 2025, and then 2026 hit and we got everything. We just locked the fuck in, and we basically have an EP done now, coming out on fucking June 1st, which is crazy.
We have what you wrote, but of sacrifice.
Yeah, exactly. And then Sam wrote his own fucking like concept to come before it, you know, like a prelude,
A prologue,
Yeah.
so to speak. Which that's what's coming out June 1st.
I've also got my concept in the works right now. I'm still trying to make it, like, trying to combine with the universe that Sean.
Bless you.
Should I have my concept intertwined with Sean's universe that he had made? Yeah, I believe that we all have made. So we'll try to be more like the fucking thing. Anything.
Yeah.
Kind of on the topic of shrooms still. After I initially had my first trip, this is around the same time Sean had his, but basically my mom got like this mushroom chocolate bar and we like split it. And I remember taking and playing Cyberpunk 2077, and I was just driving around Night City. And Sean was on call with me, and it was just a peaceful experience. Then I remember feeling the shrooms like actually hit. It was like a full-blown like derealization episode that I had before. And so like for some reason I just couldn't handle it, so I went to go sit out in the living room with my mom, who was, as I already said, on shrooms as well. And so I remember like sitting back looking at the ceiling. For the record, if you want a crazy shroom trip, stare at popcorn ceiling. it is bonkers. But I was just staring at this popcorn ceiling, and like everything was moving around into different shapes, and then with them like different colors. I was seeing like different lifetimes, kind of. Like it was like a farmer standing in a field of wheat with like his daughter or something, and then like just different realities. And every time I'd close my eyes, it was like I was speeding through like this neon city. And I remember like my mom saw me looking at by the ceiling, and she looked at it too, and she's like, "It looks like a bunch of ants, like a bunch of bugs." And then like I start hallucinating like insect gods with like Aztec symbols and shit. And then like every time I'd close my eyes, it was like I was in the future. And I remember like staring at the ceiling. There was like a whole storyline going on between like this a war between like fucking like weird mushroom giants and like insects. And then toward like the peak of the trip, there were like these like giant mantis gods that were staring at me. Kind of like Sean looking at the smiling sun during his trip. I felt like peace, but also fear at the same time. And toward the end of the trip, in like the conclusion of like the weird hallucination story, like the mushrooms like became mechanized for some fucking reason, and they're like mechanical mushroom like giant creatures, and like the ants defeated them somehow. It was weird. But as I was coming down, I remember feeling the need to puke. So I like grabbed the Midwestern puke bowl. That's a staple around every household here. There's always gonna be a bowl that you puke in. And so as it's all coming out, my nose starts bleeding, and the blood kind of like spins in like a circle kind of, and then it like turns into a face that's staring back at me. And I just felt such horror. It was terrifying. I'd never seen my own blood staring back at me. And so I go to take a shower and try to go back to bed. But every time I'd close my eyes, I would just see like the same face but in blue. It was weird. But yeah, that's our collective experience with shrooms.
I had my fair share of like fucked up like mental state, not just because of shrooms, maybe just because of weed or whatever else I was doing. We got the mic in my hand, but during like the time when me, Sean, and Sam first started hanging out, we were smoking a lot. And I don't know, every time I smoked, I was just tweaked out. Like even just from like a small hit or maybe just like a huge hit, I'd just be zoinked and out of my mind. When I get home, like every time I'm doing that, it's just like life wasn't real. Nothing just felt real. I had a bad derealization at the time. Everything just felt fake and nothing was everything was meaningless. And then just also having sleep paralysis at the same time. Like thinking of like crazy fucking dreams, having these visions and shit,
What else are we gonna talk? Let's talk about.
Bring a brownie break.
No, not yet. We'll do that in a second. Let's talk about.
Could talk about more of Liam's and my experience.
Yeah.
Before this. So originally, I had met Liam in a class called music production, which our school had, and that it taught us how to use like proper software for creating MIDIs and mixing and everything. They had us using Soundtrap, which is a dog shit DAW, but it's what we learned to use. Liam already has experience with like different DAWs, but this was my first time using one, and Ben and Sean are just like
They're doing.
they're slamming down. They're creating their own mosh pit right now.
Pretty much.
But
I just spit.
yeah. Anyway, I remember like at the start of this class, we were introducing ourselves, and I was like, "Hi, my name's Sam. I play guitar." Liam was sitting right behind me, and he turns around. And he's like, "No way, you play guitar?" And that's when we like first met. We'd like pass each other's headsets to like check each other's work, and then yeah, that's where our friendship started. And then the next year, there was like a follow-up class with like more advanced stuff involving that software, and that's where we became real tight friends. That's where we started our first band called Aeternum Mortem, with our old drummer. I won't say his name, but if you're listening to this, I hope you're doing well. I hope you've improved a lot, because what I'm about to talk about next is pretty diabolical, if you want to take the reins.
Oh my goodness. me start talking about the thing?
Yeah, talk about the talent show.
Alright, oh my god, the talent show. Alrighty, so the only issue that we had with it was the fact that our drummer didn't know how to use a metronome. And unfortunately to that, it wouldn't allow us to do very much that topic. Unfortunately, our old drummer did not know how to really use a metronome, which kind of created quite a few issues as we were even just trying to practice, because it made everything a little bit difficult. It made it very difficult to try to follow him alongside the drums, just due to the fact that he didn't use a metronome. And the live thing of the talent show, our drummer decided to essentially slow down an entire song that is going to be 60 beats per minute down to, I think around, what, 25, 30 beats per minute?
Yeah.
Which then created another issue with our lead guitarist. So lead guitarist wasn't able to follow
Waka, waka, waka.
that. And me having both a guitar and a bass, I had to take over for lead guitar.
Ben and Sean are just tweaking over something.
I tried so hard to keep a straight face and good composure to talk, but all I can just see.
I can continue if you want. Yeah, so the original lineup was our old lead guitarist. If you're listening to this as well, I hope you're doing well. Everything's all right. But
Yes, you were awesome at the time. You
Yeah.
still are. We all think you're very talented.
yeah, both of us think you guys have plenty of potential, plenty of talent. You're just overall great people. But it just at the time did not work out. So yeah, I was on rhythm guitar. Liam had to do both lead and bass, so he was like dual wielding instruments on stage.
That was the most difficult part about that, was trying to keep up with our drummer and the lead guitarist while trying to do both that.
Yeah, and so basically the old lead would play like the original parts. I remember I ended up playing the solo, and then Liam would have to stop playing bass at some points to switch over. But it was honestly kind of a nightmare. I felt beyond embarrassed afterward. And I remember like walking through the halls, people were like complimenting us anyway, but I just did not take them. I was like, hell no.
It was kind of hard to take them based on what we know, our experience of guitar and everything, especially in the introduction.
Yeah. It was just kind of a train wreck.
Oh well.
What's done is done. Like I said, hope both of you, if you're listening, are doing wonderfully. I bet you've both improved massively instrumentally.
Yes, and I wish you the greatest of life as well.
That too.
Can we just pause for a second? Sean took the fucking cupcake and went. It looked like a Pac-Man.
No, keep listening. While Sam was telling his story, I kept looking over at Ben,
The funniest shit.
and then I took a bite, and I just got the idea to go. I grabbed the cupcake, and it looked like Pac-Man. I go, waka, waka, waka.
Oh, I haven't laughed that hard in a long
First made it very difficult to make
time.
No, we keeping that in, bro. That's it.
Yeah, screw it. Let's keep it in.
That's funny as hell.
Besides, we're just posting random stuff of us.
Anyway, our inspirations. But yeah, who wants to go first?
You go first.
I have like a whole flurry of inspirations musically, but like I'd definitely say my top three have to be the Black Dahlia Murder, Amon Amarth, Shadow of Intent as well. Another one is Lorna Shore. The Pain Remain album just slaps, even though a lot of people give it some flack just because it's a newer gen kind of metal instead of what like kind of once was, so to speak.
Okay, shit. The storytelling on that album's amazing.
That's actually-
impeccable.
Yeah, that's actually what inspired us to kind of make our music a linear story instead of just random songs about random topics. There's a few more I can't think off the top of my head, but those are my core inspirations. Oh yeah, of course, At the Gates. At the Gates is like a huge inspiration.
I'd like to start with for my inspiration, I'm obviously number one, Black Dahlia, favorite band. Their riffs are just so tasty. I don't know. Every time I hear it, it's just like, it never gets old, you know. Second would be Eucharist. Sean showed me that band like a year ago, and it was probably the best thing I've ever heard. Third band, I don't know, it's either Cannibal Corpse or Intestine Ballism, between one of those. It's just a really good band.
Intestine Ballism is another really good one.
Most definitely. They had some really good metalcore riffs over, you know, like good vocals, you know. And it's like, Why did you throw that?
I did. I popped it. Where did it go?
That's back here.
Over here by the router.
Holy shit! That shit flew.
Oh, that's crazy work.
I got it open.
Kind of on that same note with Japanese bands like Intestine Ballism. Another one I'd take inspiration from, at least like riff wise, is Undead Corporation. They have some really good riffs. What about you, Liam?
Obviously, Black Dahlia, which seems to be one of the main running favorites in the band, or as well as Soundgarden.
Soundgarden.
Soundgarden's fire. Soundgarden is like dad garage music, you know, but it's very nostalgic.
It's very good.
Yes.
It's good grunge. It's good
It's
grunge.
very good grunge, yeah.
And Sean, time for your whole list.
Okay. Give me a second to think.
There's just too many.
There is a lot. My top three have to be Intestine Ballism. What else?
Intestine Ballism.
Intestine Ballism.
Intestine Ballism.
That was my number one band last year. What's another one? Dungeon Serpent and another contender for two is like Eucharist. What else?
What's a good hardcore band?
No, I don't listen to hardcore.
Dark Tranquillity is another really good one.
Yeah, I'd say either a Monomarth or a Canoris quintet. And then like bands I'm listening to right now have to be like Eucharist, Mayhem, Emperor, all that shit.
What's your favorite music? You gotta get
I listen to just about everything.
Point the microphone towards him.
Not really big on like country, but listen to a lot of 90s hip hop. A lot of I mean my Spotify will go from you know, Beastie Boys jam to some Dr. Dre to probably a Britney Spears song in there somewhere, and then back to Ozzy. I listen to lots of stuff. Nice, I think I spread it out pretty evenly.
Good stuff.
I started to get that way with my music too. I have like just a spread of like random genres all over my Spotify. It'll be from like reggae to like super sad shit. I don't know. It's everywhere. We want to talk about games that inspired us. You know?
Fear and Hunger for one, both 1 and 2. Me personally, I love the Souls series. Games like Elden Ring, Dark Souls 3. I still have to beat Dark Souls 1, but I've just been kind of putting that on the back burner. As well as the Zelda franchise. Sean can tell you all about it, but my favorite Zelda game, like of all time, still has to be Majora's Mask.
There's too many games to think of, but we should go to top 3. Mostly like Castlevania games. I mean, like obviously 2D still is fucking amazing games. The soundtrack that comes with these games that I'm talking about is like what like defines me as a guitar player. Castlevania is an amazing game. The second game, I don't know. It's not really. I mean, it's a multiple mix of games. Like, what were we doing? Sean was getting me into emulating for like games and shit. You know, the PS2 or the Wii, GameCube and shit. Like, those were my favorite like kind of games to do. Is just emulate just like small games that were made in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like emulated games would be like my second kind of great rage. Then a third would obviously be Ocarina of Time. That game was Ocarina. Ocarina. But yeah, that game was fire as hell. I needed Sean and Sam to guide me through most of it because I was just streaming it to them over Discord. But in general, the game was really good, amazing. Yeah, those are the games that we've got Sean.
So, the games that have inspired me have to be Legend of Zelda, Ocarina, and Majora's Mask. And just the entire Zelda series in general, probably Fear and Hunger 1 and 2, and then
Escape from Diddy Obby.
Escape from Diddy Obby.
What about horses?
Horses! Oh my god, no!
That is a brutal and disgusting game.
That game
We
is...
don't talk about horses.
If you ever get the chance to play horses and you want to torture yourself, play it. It is the most fucked up game I have ever played. Anyway,
my horsey and my horsey love me.
I'd probably say this isn't really an inspiration, but it's just my third favorite game of all time. Probably fucking Simpsons Hit and Run.
I was thinking that the same thing. Yeah, that game is fire.
That game's so fucking fun. What about you, Ian?
A lot of games that have inspired me would have to be a lot of the Resident Evil series.
Yep.
And of course Zelda, but specifically Zelda, Wind Waker, and Ocarina of Time.
Wind Waker's another goated
It's
one.
my favorites. I remember that's the first ever Zelda game that I ever played. It's still one of my favorites.
Speak of Zelda, I still have your Breath of the Wild copy. Switch.
Yeah, I lent out my copy of Breath of the Wild to Ben like a year ago.
Yeah, I'm still playing that fucker. That game is fucking huge. I don't know. It's a good game, but a lot of exploring to do. It takes a while to beat, but fire good.
Yeah. And then there's not much to talk about like book wise. Definitely just H.P. Lovecraft and
King
Robert
Yellow.
W. Chambers, King Yellow. As far as inspirations go.
Berserk.
Berserk, if you count the manga, I read like up until the recent chapter. It is so good. Now let's talk about things we aren't really savory toward.
Let's talk about bands that we don't like. Let's go here. I'll be the first one. Falling in Reverse. Ronnie
Love that
Radke.
Love that band. That's my favorite band.
Yeah, that's actually Sean's favorite band of all time.
I do not like that band. You know what sucks? I actually really used to love them.
Yeah.
I really did. I don't know why. I was an emo teenager, and I love that shit. I listened to A Day to Remember. I listened to Attack Attack. I listened to all that dumb shit. But yeah, no, he's like a Spawn. He's like a ghost. Or what did you say, Sam? You said something funny.
He's like Bloody Mary. You like mention him once in a like comment section. Nothing else has to do with him, and he's there. He will respond and he will find you. He will like send his army of like groveling goblins to like talk as much shit as they can. He is like omnipresent. He's like Sauron, sending his like army of orcs toward you. Like he sees what you're like saying. You mention his name once and he knows.
He's just a very cocky motherfucker. I don't know. And that's what every vocalist kind of is like. But I mean, like, he's the cockiest of the cockiest.
Oh yeah. By all means, get mad at us. Mention our name. Send traction our way, you motherfucker.
We'd love to be with Ron Redkey, whatever you want. Let's do it. I mean, a band that I really hate is Kublai. Sorry, Kublai. You guys, it doesn't hit that spot, man. The vocals aren't right. I mean, I don't think I hate you guys as, like, personally, but like just the music wise, that is not my favorite.
Just not his cup of tea.
Yeah.
You guys are clearly doing something really good that people like, but we're just not those people.
I got one, and it saddens me to say, because he did so much for the death metal genre, and he had a very peak album with Cannibal Corpse, but Chris Barnes and 6 Feet Under. I like some of the 6 Feet Under stuff. There's like a good like Halloween sounding ass riff with Chris Barnes actually sounding good on a few songs, you know. But
His fall is just kind of depressing.
it is. It's so sad because like he was fucking good in Cannibal Corpse. He was crazy, and he did a lot for the genre.
His vocals were just so raw. Like, how many albums he did? It was like 5 or 6.
I think he did 3 or 4.
No, I think it was like 5 or 6.
Really?
Maybe 5, I don't know. But them albums just raw with his vocals. But then, yeah, the fall off was crazy. It's like, what happened? What happened?
From the rope, the body just twitches it.
Sorry, Chris Barnes, you get a.
You can.
I don't necessarily hate him, but like I respect what he did for the genre. It's just I don't really care for his vocals now. I like what he did in Cannibal Corpse, you know, by all means, but yeah.
Contrary to that, band we don't respect at all, Argo Slim. Most racist motherfuckers I've ever seen.
Can't say anything because I've never listened to them. I've heard about them, but never listened to them.
Wasn't there like a clip of them having like just a pit full of skinheads?
Well, it's funny because one of them was wearing what is the band? Fuck, they're another, I forget the band. They're like a grindcore band. Which is funny because grindcore is for the most part left leaning. But yeah, there was a clip. The members were doing the Nazi salute on stage,
Oh, God.
and then there was a mosh pit, and there was this skinhead in it, and he'd be moshing for a second, and then he'd quickly just raise the salute, and it was the funniest shit ever. But it's so horrible, but it's so funny to me to see that motherfucker do that because he's just like quick with it. He goes, but yeah, no. It's not hard to be like, get wanting metal to be hateful to an extent, you know, but like, it's not hard to be like, oh, this song is about history, but we don't share these beliefs, you know.
Yeah, take Cannibal Corpse for example. They have like the goriest, most brutal lyrics, but they would not advocate anyone do anything they're singing about. Or like Sabaton is even more on the nose. They will sing about like Nazis and shit, but they're not Nazis.
No.
Speaking of which, Varg Verkenez.
Yeah, no, he's a cornball. He can write some damn good riffs, I'm not gonna lie, and he can write some damn good music, but he's just a cornball.
Cornball and shithead.
He'll like juggle between wanting to be called a Nazi and saying that he's not.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Biggest struggle, bro.
Biggest struggle.
It's another band.
Motionless and White. Not like a personal reason, just don't like their stuff per se, kind of like Kublai Khan. They're doing something well that a lot of people like, but again, we're not those people.
I've had a band, Bring Me the Horizon. I mean, like, guys did amazing for, like, first couple of years. It was, like, old school, like, deathcore, metal, comics and metalcore at the same time, right? But then, like, later on in the years, it just, like, went to, you know, cleans and, like, I don't know, I have a problem with, like very shitty cleans, and I know you guys do too.
Mhm.
But like, it's just like, it just was not hitting, so.
This is what I have a problem.
Regular Rising, you get a big old.
This is what I have a problem with. I do not like yar 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 yar, and then it goes into the wah, 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 fucking bullshit. Yar yar yar.
Like, stick to some raw vocals. It's like, oh yes.
Like it's not that hard to not sound like a complete moron.
Didn't you have something to say about As I Lay Dying too?
Oh yeah, as I lay dying, call a hitman on your wife.
Oh, that was that band?
Christian metal. Of course, he's a
Oh,
Christian,
shit.
but Christian metal. I do not like As I Lay Dying, and just everything. You know, he juggles between band members because nobody likes him. He's a cornball. That's for damn sure. Yeah.
I have another one. Sleep Token. They call themselves death metal, but they're literally just pop fucking music. I'm sorry. I don't like Sleep Token.
No, I don't either.
They're sort of into a like death metal, but in reality it's just like pop. I don't know. It's just pop.
It is pretty much just pop with like metal influence rather than
Yeah.
being metal.
It's radio metal.
Pretty much. If you're a fan of Sleep Token, no hate toward you at all, but also just not a cup of tea.
If you're a fan towards any of these bands, no hate, but yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. No hate to resist, but at least it's just what we gotta put our opinions on.
Anyway, I think that should wrap things up for the most part.
Yeah.
Fuck Donald Trump, fuck JD Vance, fuck ICE.
Fuck ICE,
Yep.
fuck Trump.
That's exactly what it is.
The American dream is dead. Hail Satan.